How's it going, everyone? Welcome into the very first edition of Timeout with Mr. Ward. Timeout. We're calling a timeout right now. We're going to talk a little bit about me today and a little bit about the sporting world. Of course, huge news in the UIL ranks, but I want to get into me before we dive into maybe some tech, maybe some high school ranks, as we're going to talk about my story becoming one of the teachers here at Lubbock ISD TV. And I want to say, first of all, I'm so blessed. What a great crew that we have here at LISD TV. They're taking me in, they're training me, and we're getting after it. And we're so excited for the upcoming school year here at LISD TV. Can't wait to meet my students and impacting lives. Now, my journey here all began whenever I was a young kid. You know, we always remember that teacher that impacted your life the most. And the teacher that impacted my life, I've told him many times, his name's Andy Penny. He was a motivator, he was determined, and he was a great influence in the classroom. And I hope to be that for the students here at LISD TV, hoping to change lives. I wanted to be on the front lines of changing what the media industry is. You know, a lot of people hear fake news, and I want to be able to bring up the next generation of media students. I'm excited for that opportunity, and I'm excited to get in front of them and teach them my passion, teach them what I know. My journey through the media industry started at Friendship. I was a part of their program, went to South Plains College, learned under Mrs. Alonzo's husband, Billy Alonzo, had a great class there, met my wife there in his class, so shout out to him, and shout out to her. And she was a cheerleader there at South Plains College. Once I moved off from South Plains College, Billy kept his promise. His number one promise was getting me a job. Landed a job at KCBD News Channel 11, I want to say in about 2015, 2014-ish. I was 19 years old. I was a young pup, but I was determined, and I wanted to make a name for myself in the media industry. About a year and a half into working there at KCBD, I got a great opportunity. An unbelievable opportunity. I started off as a photojournalist, by the way. And after a year and a half of, doing interviews, going the extra mile, being on call for a year and a half, got promoted to being a MMJ, which is a multimedia journalist, and a sports anchor / reporter. And for probably about a year, I did that role of being a news journalist and being in sports. And that was tough. You had to find that perfect balance. You know, you had to cover sports and you had to cover news and bring content every day to the viewers back home like the ones you are right now. And it was tough. Being in news, you got to want to be in news. You know, you got to love finding the stories, telling the stories. And sometimes news can be tough. It can be really tough. You got to tell the tough stories because those are the stories that need to be told. And that kind of took a toll on me after a while. And, because my passion, as you can tell right now, it was sports. And so it took a toll on me. And, after a year, and, I just put my head down and I worked. And that was the mentality I had every day. Show up, put in work, and get after it. And it'll all take care of itself. And it did. After a year, we had one reporter, we called him the number two. The number two, of course, is the weekend anchor for sports and is full-time in sports, helping Pete out. And so after a year, one of the weekend anchor left, and we had another one come in, and I was kind of down about it. I was like, come on, that was my chance. I was still the number three there, and after a couple months, that other number two left. And so I was blessed and had a great opportunity to move up to the weekend anchor role at KCBD. Once I hit that, I hit the ground running. During that time, I was 5.5 years of being the number two guy at KCBD. I was hosting the Sunday night sports show, Sports Extra, and that was my baby. That really was. I loved every minute of it. It was a 30-minute show, and every little detail from the opening to the very end, where it was the best thing I saw this week, that was all me. From writing to editing to graphics and everything in between. Only thing I didn't do was punch the buttons to make sure it went live. Now I'm doing that today. We're doing that today on Timeout with Mr. Ward. But, you take great pride in your work, and it pays off. People notice, people care, people liked, and I was truly blessed. But I feel like, your calling when this is truly a blessing. I had this opportunity. My son was born back on May 1st of this year. And when you become a father, your dreams change. Of course, sports was always the dream for me, right? Growing up, you're like, man, I want to make it to ESPN. I want to make it to the big dog, the mothership, as it's called. But, my wife tells me she's pregnant, and my whole world changed. My dreams changed. My dream was to be a father, be there for him, be able to be his baseball coach one of these days, right? Be able to take him on camping trips. Well, in the sporting world, it's one of the tough things about the media industry is that you gotta be there. That's your second wife. I called that my job, my second wife. And it was because I worked 70, 80 hours a week, and you wanted to be there. You had to be there. There was often times where I was on the road for 2 weeks. If Tech Baseball made it to Omaha for the College World Series, I'm there for a week to 2 weeks if they make a deep run. NCAA tournament basketball last year, that was an unbelievable experience. Got to travel to Tulsa, got to go to Anaheim, California, and then, of course, Minneapolis, Minnesota for the Final Four and the national championship game. Bucket list checked off right there. An unbelievable experience, but I was gone for a month, and that I'd be missing huge things in the life of little Samuel, And so your dreams change, and my dream changed. On May 1st, I received a text message from one of the teachers here, or a Facebook message rather, Mr. Lawson, saying that this position opened up. Of course, Mr. Bland retired, and I hope he enjoys retirement. He had a great run here at LISD TV, changing lives, impacting kids, and he will be dearly missed here at LISD TV. But he messaged me saying, hey, I think you should apply, and I think you'd be great for the job. And I just took it as a sign. There's a reason for everything. And I came in, applied for the job, and a couple weeks later I was interviewed right after we got out of the hospital, and the rest is history. I'm here, and I'm super humble, and I'm super blessed to be a part of this great crew. Of course, there was a transition period from me being on air at KCBD to being here at LISD TV. The first 6 months, I had the opportunity at the KCBD to move over to our sales department. I was called an account executive, where I sold advertising to local managements, to local business owners, trying to make a difference in their business, right? KCBD was the loudest megaphone on the South Plains, and here I am trying to sell you as I'm trying to, as we're talking here on Time Out with Mr. Ward. But, I had a great time there, had great bosses, but, it was destiny for me to be here. I know that for a fact, and I'm super excited, super humbled. It was a long journey, but I'm here for the long haul. I can tell you that here at LISD TV. So that's my story, a little bit about me from 19 all the way to 26 years old. I had a great career at KCBD, and now it's time to transition as my dreams have changed. My dream is to be a dad, to be there for my son, but most of all, to impact the lives of the Lubbock ISD students. Like I talked about with Mr. Penny, he changed my life, and I want to be able to do that for other kids. I think a big strength of mine coming into this career is motivation. I think I can motivate anybody and everybody, and I want to be able to do that to our students. I want to show them the skills that I learned, how to operate the camera, how to do a podcast, how to talk in front of a camera, and be yourself. It took me a long time to be able to learn how to do that. You should have seen me when I first started at KCBD. This is a real moment right here. It was not good. Not good at all. But now, I can talk. We're sitting here talking. We're 9 minutes into this podcast. And so, it takes time to grow and to develop into an on-air personality. But not everybody wants to be an on-air personality. And I would love to be able to teach the backside of things. Of course, there's always editing. The power of editing, you can make anything look good nowadays with the advanced editing that you have, and I would love to be able to teach that to our kids. Sports broadcasting, of course, that's my cup of tea. We're going to get to do a lot of that this year. Of course, the UIL announced yesterday that there will be games, football games and basketball games. It will look a little different this year. But there will be games come this August and in September for the 5A, 6A schools, and that's exciting. That's exciting because I need football. Could you imagine Thanksgiving without football? I couldn't. See, you got my Cowboys cup here. Big boys fan. Every Thanksgiving, you can count on Cowboys playing. So, 10 minutes into this little podcast here, I can't explain enough how excited I am. And I'll be doing more of these. I'm going to be having some guests come in and chat with me. It's mostly going to be a sports podcast just because that's my thing. That's my thing. And but I also have news experience and all that different jazz. And so if we need to get into those topics, we definitely will. But sports is the main focus of the show. Timeout with Mr. Ward. I got to get used to that. Mr. Ward. I think it'll be weird come day one of classes here at LISD TV. Talking a little more about me, though. If you want to know a little bit more about me, we got to ask away, right? Ask away. Some interesting things about me, though. Of course, number one, I'm an Eagle Scout, and I think that's the coolest thing, one of the coolest things I ever did, and that's why I want to take my son camping as he gets older. Growing up, I got to go camping like every month. We went everywhere. I think I went to the majority of the lower 48 as a kid growing up because that's what we did in Scouts. We'd go camping once a month. We'd go somewhere. We'd pitch a tent. We'd camp. We'd throw some food. We'd have a campfire. It was the whole shebang. And it was unreal. Great memories. And I think that's another reason why who I am today is because of the skills, the development that they gave me, everything. I can even do the Boy Scout law right now if I wanted to, but we'll save that for another day. Here at LISD TV, though, I'm going to wrap this thing up about 16 minutes in. I was thinking I could go about 30, but I don't want to repeat myself. I think that's a big key. I learned that at KCBD whenever I was hosting Talking Tech. Every Thursday, whenever I was there, previewing games and stuff, and you don't want to repeat yourself. I think it's a big key. Once you run out of topics to talk about, it's time to put a bow on it, wrap it up, and go kind of thing. So I'm excited once again, and I'm looking forward to motivating, being inspiring, and teaching the young students here at LISD TV. I can't express how thankful I am to Mr. Dixon and everybody here for welcoming me in, for teaching me, giving me the ropes, and blessing me with this opportunity. And they're not going to regret it. I can tell you that. They're going to get the best of me every day. I'm going to come to work. If I'm on the clock, I'm on the clock. I'm that kind of guy. I didn't earn, this is a humble brag. Didn't earn 6 Employee of the Month awards in my 7 years at KCBD with 82 employees, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Without working hard. You got to work hard. In life, I think that's a big key. Okay, I'm not wrapping it up. I'm coming up with more topics. A key to life, there's a couple of them. You got to work hard. Number one, you get what you work for, right? If you bust your tail, you get after it, you show that you have some worth, you're going to go a long way in life. I can guarantee it. You will go a long way in life, and doors will open up for you. The good Lord will bless you. And if you work hard and stay humble, you will make it a long way in life. Another key that my dad used to tell me is you got to look good. I don't know why he used to tell me that, but I stick by it because that's what my father told me as a kid. So a key to life, looking good and working hard. And trust your heart. Your inner being will tell you where to go in life. I can tell you that. So wrapping it up again, take 2. Hope you have a great day, everybody. Thanks so much for listening in to the first ever edition of Time Out with Mr. Ward. We'll have many more of these, hopefully, with some great guests talking sports. I just wanted you to get to know me a little bit. It was a little scattered brain, so I'm sorry. So thank you for staying by with me on this. Thanks so much. God bless, and go Lubbock Independent School District. Every child, every day, we're making an impact here at LISD TV.